So what's on tap for today, folks? Well, as you can see, Twitter got $3.5 million, folks. Your money, my money, the taxpayers' money. They got it from who? The FBI. Why? That was a legal payoff so that the Twitter would allow the FBI to spy on American citizens, folks. This is part of the next Twitter dump of the Twitter files by Elon Musk given to Mr. Schellenberger. And we're going to get into all of that. We're going to go into the background. We're just going to go into this whole seedy, blackened, just icky mess that is being shoved literally down the throats of the American people. And nobody is doing a damn thing about it, at least right now. Kevin McCarthy says he's going to do something, but we have to see, because in the past, Republicans have had the backbone of a jellyfish. In fact, a jellyfish has got a stronger backbone than these rhino Republicans. But all that aside, we'll get to that in just a minute. Just want to let you know that if you haven't already done so, we hope you go ahead and subscribe to our channel. You're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your host, the guest host here. My name is Dr. Shaikh. Hit that subscription button. You know what? The notification bell. Share and like this video. Let's get right into it, folks. And let's talk about, as we said right here, $3.5 million. That taxpayer money was used for processing requests, folks, from the Hunter Biden. I think they had a censorship department. That's what they had. It's they call it a scandal. A scandal. Oh, how lovely, a scandal. And the anger continues to grow. The anger grows only from one side, folks. It's from the conservative side. Nobody on the other side. You think the hypocrites in Hollywood care? Do you think that the media cartel mafia care? The mainstream media, which is just an extension of the Democratic National Committee, it's their, propaganda arm. Do you think they care? Of course they don't. You think academia cares? Of course they don't. You think big tech cares? Of course they don't. They're still trying to suppress this. They're still trying to suppress this story. They're still trying to say that it's all fake. I mean, that's the unbelievable part. Well, the believable part, but that's a narrative that they want to continue to spin. So basically it talks about here that the most recent batch of Twitter files show that the FBI paid off staffers $3.5 million. Deputy Counsel Jim Baker of the administration met with feds for top secret meetings. Top secret. Who does this? This is not supposed to be allowed. Government cannot collude with private or public companies. A day before he said the Hunter laptop story should be banned. Then it goes on to talk about, then in response to the latest Twitter files dump, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, this is the big, right? This is the big wording. This is the statement coming from the Republicans. Ooh, let's all be scared. Haven't they done this before? The Republicans, you know who we are, folks? We are like Charlie Brown. We're the Charlie Brown of politics, the conservatives and Republicans. We're ready to kick that football. We just can't wait to kick that football through the uprights. And the Republican Party, the rhinos, they're Lucille. They're Lucy. They're holding that football, and that football is what? That football is the Democrats. That football is the mainstream media. That football is academia. That football is, the progressives, the liberals, the moderates, the leftists. It's CNN, it's MSLSD, it's the Alternative Broadcasting Corporation, ABC. It's the never been conservative NBC, right? It's the cartel broadcasting system, CBS. That's what that football represents. And we always want to kick, every time, right? We want to kick that football right through the uprights. And guess what? Every single time, Lucy just pulls it away. What do? We fall right flat back, not only onto our derriere, but onto our back. And we get concussed. And because of that concussion we get, we think we're going to do it the next time. So Kevin McCarthy comes up here and he says this is going to be a much bigger situation than people realize. Oh, you freaking think so, Kevin? Well, I'll tell you what. Put up or shut up. That's what I say. When you go a-walking, we'll see. You know what? You do the walking, but right now all you're doing is the talking. Anyways, so as it goes on to say here, $3.5 million, taxpayer money, folks, your money, my money. This isn't supposed to be given out. That's what happens all the time. We say, oh, you know what? We're getting government money. It's not the government's money. It's the people's money. It's the taxpayers' money. Government they don't produce anything. The only thing they produce is more problems. Every once in a while, they might come up with an answer and a solution. Maybe once in a while. But anyways, here it is. A Twitter employee wrote in February 2020 email that the company's safety, content, and law enforcement. Ooh, and they even have a great acronym, SCALE. Yeah, like a reptile. Collected $3.415,323 in less than 2 years. 2 years! It's like $2 million a year, folks. And it was revealed by journalist Michael Schellenberg, the latest who's gotten the Twitter file dumpings. And the email was entitled, guess what? Run the business. We made the money. This looks like this is coming right from the mafia, folks. You know what? I've got something here, and take it or leave it. I've got an offer that you can't refuse. Run the business. We'll give you the money. The accounts that the FBI asked Twitter ban were largely linked to, dare I say, conservatives. And foreign influence operations like Russia, Ukraine. Twitter initially believed that the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian disinformation. Oh, of course it was. At that time, Jim Baker, Twitter's top lawyer and ex-FBI general counsel, personally intervened. Oh, he personally came in to say, ban it. Then Yoel Roth, Trump hater, conservative disliker, head of security, the laptop story should be blocked. And he said, facts have indicated that there's some materials that may have been hacked. We just need some more information. And so we're going to restrict access to the article. And what did they use? The hacked materials policy violation. Folks, this is one of the most stupidest asinine rules that are out there. If something is hacked, listen, there should be, you know what? We assume that we can have privacy, but you put something out there and you get hacked and it comes back to bite you in the derriere, well, that's just too damn bad. But Twitter decides that they can put this out there. Oh, you know what? If you hack the materials, even if it's right, we're not going to print it. That's just the way that they're doing things. Now, he goes on to write that we're going to restrict access to the article, talked about the hack materials policy, but an investigation of Twitter's behavior during the presidential election by minority Kevin McCarthy, what does he tell? Of course, he goes on to Fox News. Much bigger situation than people realize. Keep talking. Here's some pictures. Now, these are the pictures here of Hunter Biden with some girl or whatever, doing all kinds of crazy things. They're consenting adults. Who cares? But the fact is that we were told by who? We were told by Comey and Clapper and Rhodes and Jarrett and everybody else from the DNI, the FBI, the DOJ, that this is all Russian disinformation. Remember what happened? It's 15, 16, all 17 information, secret agencies, the CIA, everybody. They say this is just Russian disinformation. The Hunter laptop story. Oh, it's all false. It's all fake, folks. So in a previous dump, Twitter's contact, this is from Matt Taibbi, said that the FBI was constant and pervasive, as if they were a subsidiary. Now, Kevin McCarthy, God bless him, but listen, we've heard this so many times from the Republicans. We've heard it over and over and over again. When the Democrats want to do something, man, they go right after it. They got the House counsel. What did they do? They went after Trump for 4 years, folks. 4 years, starting on the day that he was elected. That's how the Democrats do something. They don't do something halfway or a quarter way. They don't even do it 100% of the way. They do it like 1,000% of the way. They go in, baby. They go in. They're all in. Republicans, conservatives, we're not like that. Like I said before, The spine of a jellyfish is stronger than the spine of a rhino. And what does he go? We're going to do more than just subpoena them. We're going to change the course of where the FBI is today. Man, we've heard this story over and over and over again. And it just gets to the point where, you know what? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And why? Oh, this is Kevin. Oh, why are the FBI able to do this? Oh, working together, using private businesses to go after individuals right before an election, denying the American public the truth. Where were you for the 2020 elections, Kevin? When all this crap was going on, where were you talking then? Where was the big talk then? Where was all that? Where was the bravado? Where was all this machism coming from? Certainly wasn't there then. Oh my goodness. Say it's going to be a much bigger situation than people realize. Yeah, talk is cheap, buddy. Talk is cheap. Now, it says here, this is a quote from Jim Jordan, who's absolutely great, man. Jim Jordan, part of the Freedom Caucus. He says, I have concerns about whether the government was running a misinformation operation on we the people. Anyone who reads the Twitter files, regardless of their political orientation, should share their concerns. That should be true in a normal world, but we're in like Superman bizarro world, folks, where it's one side that's concerned about the First Amendment. Oh, the Democrats, the progressive, the moderates, the hypocrites in Hollywood, academia, they care about the First Amendment, but only when it allows their narrative to be out there in the forefront. Every other narrative has got to be squashed. First Amendment for thee, but not for we. Anyways, he goes on to say that the feds, I mean, what are you going to do if you're a staffer? You have no power. Man, they got rid of President Trump on Twitter. If they can do that to the most powerful person on earth in the world, what do you think? How do we stand against, the forces of the Department of Justice, the FBI? They pressure Twitter staffers to ban accounts that they weren't fond of and to target alleged foreign influence peddlers. And they wanted to grant the firm staffers access to show where they claimed the threats were posed by foreign interference. I mean, this is unbelievable. At one point, they said FBI agent Elvis Chan acts surprised at being reminded that Twitter's general counsel Jim Baker was former FBI general counsel and held that very clearance. Then another FBI agent, Laura Demlau, she requested that she be allowed to talk to Baker with the top secret meeting. And then, I mean, the shameless way. These people have no shame, folks. They have no shame whatsoever at all. Then, Twitter files released also showed that there were so many ex-FBI staffers that joined the social media network that there was a private Slack channel. I mean, the ex-FBI staffers, Twitter where was this money coming from? From the left folks, from George Soros and other leftist venture capitalists that were basically propping up Twitter at that time. Twitter was losing $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 million allegedly, a day before Elon Musk came to save it. But there was a private Slack channel that was set up just for them. And what? It allowed them to be on board at the firm. Help them show the ropes, right? Let them know what's going on in Twitter, how to go ahead and utilize the system. Also, the most recent Twitter files revealed how an FBI official turned Twitter lawyer sent a letter thanking the Bureau for help suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop story. Think about this, folks. An FBI official turned Twitter lawyer now sends a letter, says, thanks, FBI, man. Thanks, buddy. Because you helped suppress the true story of the Hunter Biden laptop. Now, Baker, at that time, he was serving as Deputy General Counsel for Twitter. Also, we know what his role was at the FBI. And he said, well, it's just, we want to fight election interference from foreign nations. But here's what they were doing, folks. Baker and the FBI, they were working together, as we said before, they were working together to push a narrative that the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop had been hacked by Russian sources, Russian agents, and that the laptop was placed in the Delaware shop, the computer repair shop, and that it never belonged to Biden at all. That's a narrative that they were spinning. That's a narrative that was going through Twitter. That's a narrative that was going through Facebook. That's a narrative that was going through academia. That's a narrative that was going through the media mafia cartels. That's the narrative that was going through the alphabet networks. That's what was being pushed, shoved down the throats of the American people. That's what was going on. That's how they blocked the New York Post story. They literally blocked the New York Post story. They took away the First Amendment rights of a newspaper, folks. I mean, now they're basically saying that the Twitter Baker, they signed a letter to FBI agents thanking them for their efforts. That's what's happening right now, folks. That's what's happening. I mean, this is just unbelievable. More pictures here. And let's go on there. Let's find out. Also, 2 hours after Hunter Biden's attorney found out about the New York Post story, this is what Schellenberger found, that FBI agent Elvis Chan sent a collection of documents to Twitter's head of site integrity, Yoel Roth. Now, despite Twitter saying that they found nothing suspicious, the FBI kept reaching out to Twitter, folks. They kept in further information, which Twitter has declined to disclose. But then Agent Chan, in 2020 of July, he arranges security clearances for Twitter officials so they can be told about the election interference, hoping to see that in the Trump-Biden runoff. Now, Chan is basically said, I'm just surprised when he told Baker was at Twitter. He said, I don't know how I forgot him. That's just unbelievably strange. And Baker wasn't the only former FBI staffer. As we said before, there were so many over there that they had their own Slack channel and they regularly communicated. Now, Schellenberger writes that once Baker was given clearance, he used that clearance to put pressure on Yoel Roth and other top executives at Twitter to do the bidding of the FBI. In fact, we all know what we talked about when the New York Post story was put out. Immediately it was censored by Twitter. And it was basically done to basically put the narrative out there that this is completely wrong, that this is misinformation, this is deception, this is coming from Russian agents. And those files showed that Hunter Biden was earning millions of dollars in foreign business dealings. But the FBI told Twitter, look out for Russian information and turn the other cheek. That's what was going on. Now, despite all these efforts, though, many Twitter executives found there had been little activity of Russian activity, any suspicions. Indeed, Twitter executives, they reported very little Russian activity. Twitter told the FBI it had removed about 344 accounts out of millions inactive that they had previously said linked to previous coordinated Russian hacking attempts. The quote is, they had little reach and low follower accounts. This is from Twitter itself. Now, October 14th, just before the New York Post publishes the Hunter Biden laptop story, Roth says it's a violation of the hack material policies, nor is it clear in violation of anything else, but it feels like somewhat of a subtle leak operation. There we go again. Feelings, nothing more than feelings, trying so hard to forget you. That's what the Democrats, that's what these people do. They go on their feelings, folks. They never go on the facts. Now, you go back a little bit further. On October 14th, early in the morning, around 10 o'clock, Twitter officials said, citing experts, who are these experts? Oh, the FBI, right? Had agreed that the laptops must have been hacked from another source, and they were placed on the laptop. The suggestion from experts, which rings true, they were saying, is that the hack happened separately, that they loaded the hack materials onto a laptop that magically, just magic, magic. Here, Here, see this? Don't see this. Right? In that repair shop in Delaware. Later that afternoon, Baker had a phone call with the Office of General Counsel of the FBI. He suggested it was obvious. Schellenberger is writing that it was obvious, of course it was obvious, that the FBI's pressures on Twitter executives led them to assuming the position that the laptop story had been faked. That's what was going on. So in a nutshell, the FBI is using the power of the Justice Department, the power of fear, the power of punishment. Hey, you do what I do, or guess what, folks? We got a file on you. That's right. So do as we say. Hey, you know what? We've got an offer that you can't refuse. Anyways, folks, we certainly appreciate you watching our show today. Like, share, and follow us. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host today. My name is Dr. Shaikh, and I'll leave you with my final thoughts as I always do. When you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.